いらっしゃいませ。
すみません。
はい。
日本の音楽を勧め。
日本の音楽、これが大好きですね。
アレサンドラムソリムスリどんな音楽ですか
80年代のシティポップです。
It's Japanese city pop, but I do like it. いくらですか
84万円です。
What the?
I know what you're thinking. You think that I'm talking about some weird fan fiction that a guy obsessed with history made up. But this is actually all true. Well, of course, apart from the Japanese cute employee from Book Off. That was actually me dressed up as a Book Off employee. But apart from that, this story is weird but true. Now, I'm a huge fan of Japanese city pop, but I only discovered this thing like a couple of years ago. But one of the songs from this album actually became one of my most favorite songs from Japanese city pop. And I mean, I actually listen to it like quite often. But how did this happen? Or I should say, how can someone with the same name as one of the worst people to ever exist be able to make something so great, actually? Now, let's find out. Now, in order to understand the story of this song, this album, I will need to introduce you first to the main character of the story, which is Alessandra Mussolini. Alessandra Mussolini was born on the 30th of December 1962 in Rome. She is a politician, a former actress, singer and model. She is now a member of the European Parliament and she was the first woman to lead a political party in Italy in 2004. But we're not here to talk about politics. Alessandra is the daughter of Romano Mussolini, who is a jazz pianist, a painter, a film producer, and the fourth son of dictator Benito Mussolini, and Maria Scicolone, who happens to be the sister of Sophia Loren, who is then Alessandra Mussolini's aunt. Now, I don't know how Sophia Loren is perceived in other countries, but from an Italian perspective, I think we consider her as one of the most important Italian actresses of all time, if not the most important Italian actress of all time. And, well, I guess talent runs in the family. Her aunt, Sofia, in fact, took her under her wing and helped her pursue a career as an actress in Italian film industry during the 70s. She continued acting during her life, and one of the first films she starred in, A Special Day from 1977, also won a Golden Globe and was nominated for an Academy Award. But things got interesting as soon as Alessandra got into her 20s. In 1982, Alessandra and her mother paid a visit to Japan, and once there, Alessandra was asked to sing in a Japanese advertisement. Now, I couldn't really find many details about this, but from what I read on the internet, it looks like she just got there and somebody asked her to sing in a Japanese commercial. And the funny thing is that this commercial was quite popular. Now, I wasn't able to find it, but if you happen to find it, please comment down below the link, or at least tell me if you find it. But apparently this commercial got so popular that the Japanese people, or at least the people that were involved in the making of this commercial, actually asked her to make a whole album because they really like how she sang. Even though she had never sang before, she agreed. Now, this album was only published in Japan, and the reason behind this is probably because around the same time, Alessandra also starred in a couple of Playboy covers. Playboy? Is it called Playboy? Yeah, I think so. I think these Playboy covers were published only in Germany, if I'm right. This was considered a scandal in Italy. You're very conservative, I guess. And so Italian people really didn't care about her as a celebrity. So the album was not published in Italy. And that's why many Italians actually don't know that the album exists. And it was only published in Japan, where it actually had quite a success. Now, the album was written by Italian and Japanese songwriters. In fact, it has songs in English, Italian, and Japanese. But surprisingly, the best song of the album and the most famous one is called Tokyo Fantasy, and it's a song in Japanese. Now, I am a student of Japanese, so I actually speak a little bit of Japanese, and I can easily say that she actually sings quite well in Japanese. This song also has a very Japanese city pop vibe. Like, I wasn't joking in the sketch at the beginning, and it sort of became a cult song. I don't know if these terms exist in English as well, but I wouldn't know how to say it differently. It's a very popular song, and I honestly put it, if I had to make a list of the best Japanese city pop songs, this would go right after Plastic Love, in my opinion. Now, for what concerns the other songs on the album, which aren't really quite popular, I think that the most relevant ones are the ones written by a very famous Italian songwriter who is called Cristiano Malgioglio. But the thing is, the songs that are featured in this album aren't songs that he wrote for her intentionally. Like, they're apparently songs that he just sold to her, that he had already written, but not a single singer wanted to sing them. So they're obviously not as popular as the one in Japanese, Tokyo Fantasy. Now, the most interesting part about the story isn't actually related to the song itself, which I actually suggest you listen to entirely because I'm obsessed with that song. But it actually has to do with the price of the album. Now, the vinyl that you see behind me and was playing before as the video started isn't actually a copy of the album Amore. It's George Michael, I believe. Yeah, that's definitely George Michael. And you might wonder, why don't you have one? Well, the thing is, I would actually buy it if I could, like, as a meme. But the thing is, it's almost impossible to find it. And I was not joking about the price earlier. So yeah, I read online that in 2003, I believe, a copy of the album Amore was sold for like £5,000 in London or something like that. And I was like, this can be true, right? So I actually went to Japan, not just for this, but since I was there, I was like, okay, let's go shopping and try to find a copy of this album. And so I went and tried to find it in some old vinyl shops or book off. And the thing is, I could not find it, which, I mean, since it was only sold in Japan, it's normal that it's difficult to find, but I was still like, I need to find out if it's actually that expensive. So as soon as I came back to Italy, I went on a Japanese site online where I usually buy things from Japan, and I tried to look for the album and actually found a guy selling it in an auction, which started at like 150 euros or something like that. I have the screenshot, I'm gonna put it somewhere, and which was of course a very lower price than I expected after reading the news of the £6,000. But I was like, I'm not willing to pay this much money for an album just as a joke. But I really wanted to see how much it would cost in the end, at the end of the auction, and I actually found out that he sold that for 150 euros, which is nothing compared to the £6,000. So it's quite weird. I don't know if that thing is actually true. Is it actually that expensive for a collector willing to pay thousands of euros for this type of album? I don't know. I guess people are willing to sell this for much lower, I guess. Now, unfortunately for the ones who appreciate the music, Alessandra actually stopped singing, I think right after the release of the album. It's almost impossible to find other things related to her music. I actually read on her Wikipedia page that she performed on a Italian television show some years ago, and she sang the Tokyo Fantasy song live, but that's another video that's impossible to find. I wasn't able to find it.
Okay, I think I'm about to cry, but I was actually able to find a video of her singing the song live. It was actually like a joke, like she was singing as a joke, and it was a cappella, it wasn't a serious thing. And the interviewer asked something like, "What language is this?" And she's like, "It's Japanese Napolitan." Just let me show you.
Aiki no fantasy, kanji yasui no your mystery, mitsumerareta mama tenderly, okona ono ni aru no Tokyo night.
I can finally say that this video is complete now. I'm happy.
And that also happens for everything concerning the news or details about a musical career. So everything we know about it, I just told you. And that's quite sad. Like, it's a very interesting story in my opinion. And I think she really had actually a talent, I guess. So yeah, I really wish I had more things to tell you, but reality is that's all we know, unfortunately. Really suggest you listen to the song and you also listen to the other songs on the album, apart from Tokyo Fantasy, which is the greatest meme of all time. Fortunately, that was all for today. I wasn't able to find more details about this, but I really hope you enjoyed this short documentary about this story. Let me know if there are other musical stories that weird and that you want to know about. I think that's all for today, and I guess I'll see you later. Bye!